31. Bo. He puts up a wall in the darkness. Sometimes he needs someone to talk to and lies there on his mattress complaining, feeling sorry for himself. The sisters listen and sympathize. Can we perhaps get a radiator down here? They ask cautiously in the darkness. You want something again? Do you think I'm made of money? But he comes with an electric radiator after a few days, and the sisters thank him with reverent sympathy. We have been in the cellar for 375 days. But we used to go out, Miriam muses. We were out, right, Bo? We lie on her mattress among dirty blankets, stained pillows, and clothes. The sisters are in the rooms, not real rooms with plaster walls, chipboard, and wallpaper, but their soul rooms where only they have access. We have learned to sense this. When someone has closed the door to their room, we know it. Miriam takes my arm and places it over her shoulders. I listen to her breathing, feel her heart beating against my heart. I look at her freckles that have turned gray against the thin skin, at the scar above her lip where she was beaten, and her black eyebrows, her deep dark eyes. I am another Bo in the basement. I am all my ages. I say to my sister Miriam, do you remember? Don't know. It is hard to miss something you are afraid of. We miss fresh air and sunlight all the time. We miss trees and wind and the blue color of the sky and meeting other people, the exchange of energies. But Miriam is also afraid. It's dangerous out there. They yell at you, hit you. Do you mean him? Silence. I like the things outside, I say. I like to swing. Do you remember? I don't want to. Miriam shudders. I like it, I whisper. You get beaten. Not by the ladies. What ladies? They bathed you in warm water, and the foam smelled good. They spoke in kind voices. They asked you how your heart felt. They were big and soft. They said good night and good morning, and then they showed you how to do it, so that what you did was good. Then they disappeared, but there was one left, and that was Thea, and she also had hot water and foam. And then they beat? No, never, Miriam ponders. They would beat me. I don't like the outside. Miriam breathes in and out 3 times. Bo, you always say him and he. You never say dad. He is not a father, but he takes care of us. My gaze travels up the stiff walls, up to the edge where the ceiling begins, where they live, the narrow curves and cracks. There is another outside, I tell Miriam. Your outside is a dangerous outside, but there are 2. The other outside is beautiful and fun. There are nice people there. Miriam looks down and thinks, how do you know which outside is the good outside? You can choose it. Bo, is it in the good outside that it will be Christmas? I nod. Christmas. That's when they came down to the basement and shouted out Bible verses at us after starving us for 3 days. But Miriam remembers something else about Christmas. I'm listening. I remember Christmas. Ingmarie, who was my teacher in 1st grade, she showed us how to make Santas out of toilet rolls, and we had to stick on beards and such. Sequins? nice shiny sequins. And one day it was dark in the school. It never used to be dark at school. Miriam smiles and is back to the way she was 2 Christmases ago. And then Marie told us to walk in line, and we walked in line in the dark. There were candles in the dining room. There were chairs for us to sit on, many chairs. And then the second graders came out in white Lucia gowns and sang for us. A girl stood at the front with the chandelier, and she was Lucia, and she was so beautiful. I want to be Lucia too, even though I have dark hair. But Ingmarie said that the real Lucia has dark hair, so I could be Lucia next year, when I was in second grade. And some were elves, and some had cones on their heads with stars on them. They were star boys, boys with cones, star lads, I think it was called. And there were brown gingerbread men too. You know, like in the gingerbread song, we come from gingerbread land. We giggle. They sang all that Lucia songs, which we had also learned in our class. And then we got to eat cookies, real raisin buns, gingerbread and raisin buns. For real, that is. Real Christmas and raisin buns. Christmas, Miriam continues. It was like waiting for something fun, something nice. So it must have been in the other outside. Can you travel there with me, Bo? Well, it's not Christmas anywhere. Outside it is early fall now. The sky is warmly gray over the playground. I feel the humidity with my sensors. Miriam sighs and sits up and starts playing with her braid. When is Christmas? I think about it, but I don't know. Can we hide it so that Mom and Dad don't find it and take it? I nod. Adina and Lisa once hid a basket of kittens. It was the most important and fun job they ever had. Nothing is more wonderful than little soft, brave, cheeky kittens. But that time, Mom discovered them, and what she did with them we never found out. But invisible things are easy to hide. Can't we have Christmas now, just you and me? Miriam asks. I nod. Miriam lights up so that the gaps with missing teeth are clearly visible. We are like the children in my class. We are going to get Christmas presents. I imagine Maya, Kenneth, and Ulrika, children I have visited during my travels. They are allowed to exist. They can be. I nod my head. We are like them, just like them, Miriam says happily. I travel towards Miriam's memory. I find a darkened school and sequins and a kind teacher singing about gingerbread men and the promise of presents. And the tree bow, spruce trees, tart scent, fresh forest and needles. We crawl under, it stings. She and I lie under the tree and wait for Christmas Eve. There are tinsel and red balls, Miriam says. And you know, there's a little golden angel with little white candles burning. Clink, clink. Now you know what Christmas is, says Miriam, glowing as if she were warm and full. Let's hide it. And as Santa puts presents in the sack, we put Christmas where no one can take it. "32. Bo." Along the wall is a long line of books, old school books, picture books, and paperbacks, which he has given us in A give and take game. We used the books for school. Eva remembers the reading comprehension exercises from class. Our brains are quite slow in the basement, but sometimes they are illuminated by some idea or train of thought. Lisa takes care of the math, and we practice counting, dividing, and multiplying. Esther oversees the history lessons. We browse through the history books from school. We look at pictures of Viking ships and jewelry and medieval customs. When school is finished, Miriam and Judith go to the toy corner. There Miriam has her plastic horses. They have their dolls and stuffed animals, worn and half-broken things that he has found for free somewhere and thrown down to us. Naomi curls up against the wall on the mattress with her back facing us. Naomi was an energetic and curious 9-year-old who, despite her sensitivity, was a fighter. But when he replaced the lake cottage with the basement and took Miriam, because Naomi had defied him, reality became too heavy. She broke, and for a long time she lay mostly with her thumb in her mouth. Her thumb became wrinkled and white as a sponge from all the sucking. But now she has awakened from her hibernation. Her face is narrow and eager, her eyes are huge, and her hair is matted. Lisa calls her the house monster. "What are you playing?" Naomi hisses. "Horses. Have you patted Sweets today? She ran too fast and twisted a hoof," says Miriam. Naomi looks discouraged. She studies Miriam and Judith's game, but Naomi and I are not sure how to play. I tried to learn, and Naomi can't remember. Miriam and Judith move further away, and Naomi picks up one of the horses, tucks it inside her shirt, and glares at Miriam. The landscape of the basement has grown around us. We have a worn sofa with burn marks where Miriam and Adina sometimes play. We have a large pile of clothes, blankets, and quilts, another growing pile of worn out and torn clothes and rags. Ada periodically attacks the piles and sorts everything, but soon enough they are hills again, which Judith jumps into. We have 5 chairs and 2 tables, a shelf with flour, sugar, cutlery, and detergent. We had a radio, but he took it after Adina dismantled it to try to rebuild it and send out SOS signals. We are hoping to get a TV, but there has been no opportunity to ask. Over in the darkness, the laundry hangs on 2 lines. We have 3 large tubs and a washboard. We have a scrubbing bucket and mop and dustpan. We eat eggs. He places a brown paper bag of eggs for us every week. Sometimes we get meat and bread. Once we got pizza, but then there was no more food. After a few days, the tears flow by themselves. Lisa watches the food, and no one is allowed to take anything extra. We eat 3 times a day. Sometimes it's just an egg for lunch. Sometimes we have rice and pasta. Once we got 10 sausages. Now we long for sausages all the time. From time to time, we get a bag of yesterday's pastries from the pastry shop. We have recently received a bag. Naomi tucks Miriam's horse under her pillow when she thinks no one is looking. At regular intervals, Eva raids and empties Naomi's corner. Naomi soon finds something new to steal. For the most part, we think it's a funny ritual. We tried to stop her at first and give her things instead, but she kicked them into the wall, and soon she had grabbed something that another sister was playing with, liked. Miriam come and watch the water, Esther asks, and Miriam goes over to the heating plate, while Naomi sits and studies the rest of us. We will soon have lunch on our plastic plates, 1 egg each, but all eyes are on the paper bag with yesterday's pastries on the shelf. Still, we eat carefully, as Ada has taught us. 1 egg feels like many eggs when you take small pieces and chew slowly. But Naomi doesn't care and eats the egg in 3 bites. Then she looks at the paper bag. Esther finally goes and arranges the dessert. How many? Naomi asks. Esther does not answer. How many? Screams Naomi. There are 6 left. We'll take half now and half tomorrow. Tonight, says Ada. What if they get moldy by tomorrow? Esther puts the paper bag on the floor so that we each can take a piece of the split donuts. Naomi is quickly there and has immediately swallowed her piece. Then it's time to do the dishes, wash and organize, and get on with our day. But Naomi is up on the chair, with her hands in the paper bag, and her mouth full of the donuts we were supposed to save for tonight. We howl. Lisa arrives and grabs Naomi, slapping her desperately on the back, bottom and legs. Naomi disappears into herself. She has her thumb in her mouth and is gone. Ada has fallen asleep. Eva and Lisa are sitting on the table talking. Judith is lying with her head on Esther's lap, and Esther is mindlessly combing her hair with her fingers. Can't you be like before, No? Adina asks, looking tiredly at Naomi's bent back. Stop being like this. Yes, we remember another Naomi, a funny and cute one, a child. Naomi slowly turns around, and now she is lying straight. Her gaze wanders in the dusk. The fluorescent lights are off. The table lamp over by Lisa and Eva spreads some light over the mattresses. Adina lets out a deep cry and then bursts into tears for Naomi. She cries loud and long. We dare not touch her, but we are with her. We wake up in total darkness to someone roaring. Someone else screams with laughter. The lights are blinking. Lisa is standing up on the mattress and Adina is laughing by the wall. Naomi is also standing there, glaring at Lisa. They poured something on me. I'm all wet. And the pillow too. What are you doing? Adina runs away to the darkness laughing. Lisa takes a leap and grabs Naomi. Bastards, Lisa shouts. Butt licker, Naomi yells, kicking and punching so that Lisa releases her grip. I hate you all, Lisa shouts. I hate you, Adina shouts. Keep the brat away from me, Lisa growls. Egghead, cries Adina. Then she shrieks. They see nothing, stumble, howl, run. We can't cope with them, so we fall asleep away from them. Every time he or she or both come down to us, Naomi gets up and walks over. He might be looking for an Ada tonight, or an Eva, or a Miriam with the braids, but Naomi grabs his arm. He smiles, big and dead. He often takes her, his pretty Naomi. Sometimes he pushes her away and takes another, and then Naomi goes and sits quietly with the rest of us and waits for the darkness to subside. But she always tries, sees it as her duty, her task. When he is gone, we travel out into the spring evening. We fly across the fields to the beach and the sea and dive into the salty waves, listening to the wave foam crack and crunch, caressing the white sand and letting the reeds tickle. Naomi's little face smiles almost peacefully. She then lies with Great in her arms. Great is one of Thea's floral blouses that someone has tied in 3 knots, and is the only thing Naomi lets close. Chapter 31 and 32 comments. Here I describe my sub-personality Miriam, age 7, who is the one who feels valuable and the one who carries lovely feelings and memories, such as playing with dolls and celebrating Saint Lucia at school. The Miriam altar does not deal with difficult feelings such as shame and guilt, but carries my sense of self-worth. In my home environment, I had to separate my sense of worth from myself and other parts. I had to hide the happy memories from the difficult ones, and the difficult ones from the happy ones. In that way, I was still able to preserve the happy experiences and the good feelings I had for myself and others. Miriam is also similar to Elsa in character, perhaps because Elsa is the one I love most, and that feeling is the best feeling. I also describe Naomi, age 9, who is perhaps the complete opposite of Miriam. Instead of feeling safe and valued, Naomi feels like a villain and is insecure. Instead of looking after others, Naomi is deeply suspicious of everything and everyone. Naomi is the Fredrika part, which Alva has spoken about, the part that emerged when I lost my twin. Fredrika Naomi is the part that has dealt with the abuse. A part of me that feels so worthless apart from the fact that she protects the rest of us from the abuse, which gives her a sense of worth and strength. I also describe the antics and conflict between the sisters, and yes, there's often a great deal of internal conflict. One keeps an eye on one, which drives another up the wall. There is a deep mistrust between the parts, although certain parts can help each other and stick together in different situations. Bo reminds us of freedom and the beauty of life.